if I asked Colton here to throw a baseball 60 feet, he would have no trouble, right? But for some reason, there's this common misconception that you can't throw a rope that far, and that is wrong, okay? That's mental. Throwing 60 foot of rope is really quite easy if you know what to do. So that's a benefit. And the reason why it's a benefit is because it's a mental thing. So if I asked you to catch a cow from 60 feet, that's probably not going to be a good idea, because then you're not going to have enough rope to get to the horn. But if we practice on the dummy at 60 feet, a 30-foot shot looks like a chip shot. Does that make sense?
Today's video is brought to you by 310 EDU. I've always maintained one goal as a horseman, stockman, and roper: to be as consistent as humanly possible.
Woo, she heavy.
My greatest training tool for achieving this has been our video content. Applying the principles we teach at 310 EDU will give you a better relationship with your horse, a deeper understanding of stockmanship and cattle behavior, and a far more versatile roping shot selection. These videos allow us to deep dive into the finer details of our craft while breaking down missed opportunities and great shots second by second. My ranch roping field guide is free with every membership, giving you an amazing tool to work on your consistency and versatility. Scan this QR code and go check out hundreds of hours of doctoring, branding, stockmanship, horsemanship, and more. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Did you get that?
I got that.
So if I get to where I can throw this sucker 50 foot, when I get within 30 feet, we're in the strike zone. Does that make sense? So there's two main Hulahan angles that I'm going to use on a moving calf. And the first one I'm going to show you is a calf moving from right to left. My horse is going to be parallel with this animal. So this horse is going to, or this calf is going to be walking down the fence, and I'm going to position myself as if I was walking down the fence as well. Does that make sense? This Hulahan swing and angle is going to be a really flat one. You want it to fly in the air kind of like a frisbee, okay? It's very important that when we learn this shot and we practice this shot on the dummy that we pull our slack. This shot is not going to hit in figure eight typically, and so you need to be Johnny on the spot with getting that slack up, or they're going to run through it, all right? So we're going to swing a flat Hulahan, and then it's going to travel in the air flat, right? So it's going to roll over and it's going to be flat. A characteristic of the Hulahan that is unlike all the other roping swings is it figure eights in the back and it opens in the front. It's going to do this throughout the entire swing. So you have to keep that in mind when you throw it, because if you throw it too direct and not high enough, it won't open up in the front. Make sense? So you got to give it time to open back up on the way. So that's going to be shot number one. This is our Hulahan shot number one, okay? The second angle we're going to add with the Hulahan headshots is going to be the same exact angle that you would throw a sidearm from, right? So I typically like a sidearm a little closer to my horse when I throw, like right when he crosses in front of me. The Hulahan strike zone is way bigger. The reason why it's way bigger is because I can throw it higher, right? So I can throw this Hulahan angle anywhere from about right here. So imagine I'm sitting on a horse and that's my horse's head. The cow crosses in front of me. The strike zone starts from here and it goes all the way to here. You can still get that done, right? So this gives you a lot of time to get in time with the calf. So what you'll find as you start practicing different shots, and I'm sure some of you have experienced this, is that as that calf is coming by you or in front of you, you got to time your swing up with your delivery, right? Because if he comes in front of you into the strike zone and you're here in your swing and you rush it to try to throw it on time, it's going to close your rope up. It's not going to do right. So what we want to do is we want to be paying really close attention to the calf's speed. And we want to be timing our swing up with that. Well, what the Hulahan allows for is that he can get way further out there. You just got to reach a little further when you get to the spot. Does that make sense? We must, on all roping shots that are head shots other than turnovers, match the angle of the calf's head to the ground, right? this angle. So with that being said, I'm gonna stand that houlihan up. It's not gonna be flat here, right? I want it stood up like this. I want it matching that calf's head to the ground. And so then, all we're gonna do is put a little air under it, match the angle, aim for the shoulder, and be on our slack. Does that make sense? Clear as mud, very good. I'm telling y'all what, I'm gonna come up with something that everybody's gotta say when I say, does that make sense? So I don't feel like awkward out here. Yes, maybe. Maybe yes. Maybe yes will do. Okay, so the two shots that I showed in the beginner class, the first one is a heel trap, and I assume everyone here knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a team roping shot, pretty much. That's gonna be a trap from the left-hand side of the calf, okay? We can add in what's called a backhand trap. It's the same shot, but we're gonna swing it backhand, like this, right? And we're gonna deliver it the same way. We're gonna split the tail head and drop it in there like that. So what this gives us is it gives us a trap from this side, and it gives us a trap from this side. The application for this is if you're at a Brandon, or you're doctoring cattle, or you're at a roping, whatever the case may be, and you're sitting on this side of the calf, maybe blocking for a fella that's trying to heel. And that guy's having a tough day, and he misses. So now, all I gotta do is pick up the backhand swing and let the calf come by, and as he comes by, I want my tip in the middle of the calf's back. You just lay it in there. Does that make sense? It's a really, when it comes to a practical shot, it's a super practical, easy shot to learn how to throw. The other heel shot we teach in the beginner class is a forehand hip shot, okay? Has everybody here seen hip shots? They know how they work? It's okay if you haven't. I'm gonna explain it really quick. Okay, so the forehand hip shot is gonna be a sidearm swing. It's gonna be delivered from here. But in our search for excellence, we're gonna hunt a shot from every angle, right? I wanna be able to catch this calf by the head or the heels, 360 degrees around it from any angle, pretty much. So if we're going to have a hip shot from over here, we need a hip shot from this side as well. And what we're gonna learn from over here is called a karate chop. It's a backhand swing, and the reason why this works, so if you throw the hip shot from that side, the Honda ends up behind the calf, and the bulk of your loop is what goes under and hangs the hip, right? Well, to do it over here, we gotta mirror that. We gotta make it a mirror image. So we're gonna pick up that karate chop swing, we're gonna swing backhand. I want my Honda to end up on the backhand side of the calf and the left side of my loop to shoot under him, okay? And we just wanna split the tail head. So that, we would call this a saddle blanket, right? This is not what this is supposed to look like, and I apologize. Cadillac have a flat tire every now and then, you know what I'm saying? What we want it to look like is this, right? If you saddle blanket one, that's kind of slops. Like you could still pick it up probably, but that's not the goal. We want that Honda back here, we want the tip to shoot through, and we want our guy to drag them by, okay? Kind of your strike zone for this shot is gonna start about right here, okay? Like straight on with the hip. This is probably, it's far more difficult from here than it is from around the circle, okay? Reason why is your backhand swing is a a clockwise swing. So your rope is naturally gonna wanna drift to the right, just based on the way you're swinging the rope, right? Well, in this position, that natural curvature of the swing is gonna wanna pull it away from the hip. It's gonna wanna finish to the right, if that makes sense. If I simply slide my horse into this position, now that natural curvature helps me. It helps the rope go underneath the calf if we just put it in the right spot. Does that make sense? And you can throw this shot anywhere. It's very, very difficult from right here, but you can throw it from right here all the way around. And a lot of times the cattle will dictate where you throw it from, if that makes any sense. So that's the idea. We do have some sticky dirt, so give yourself a little grace, because it's kind of sticky in here. So, and that's okay. Your loop size for that shot is going to depend solely on the size of the animal. So the bigger the animal, the bigger the loop has to be. So in this dummy, you can get away with a pretty small loop. The bigger the cow gets, the bigger your loop has to be with any hip shot ever. Any questions?
Did you throw a coil with that from that distance? I didn't see it, or did you feed it?
I did not throw a coil. I almost never throw a coil with any of my hip shots. I adjust distance based on loop size. So if I want to throw it further, I get a bigger loop. Typically speaking, with a lot of my hip shots, I drop a lot of coils, but I don't throw them in my hand. Not that you can't. Lots of guys do that. Anybody else? Nope. Cool. Okay. Yep.
On the backhand trap shot,
Yep.
I noticed the last one you demonstrated, you're pretty much in line with the calf.
Yes. There's two ways. So if the calf is standing, okay, the biggest issue with this shot, or the hardest thing to do with it, is timing, right? So if the calf is standing still, typically I'm going to deliver from here. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to split his tail head. So I want the middle of my loop to hit that tail head, and it's going to shoot my tip under there. The reason why I deliver from here is because we all know what a drive line is. You get behind the drive line, they squirt off. But if they're moving, or if they squirt off anyway, sometimes you got to reach kind of like a trap. Does that make sense? So the two deliveries of that shot, the first one would be from here, and I'm just gonna, my horse would be walking, but the calf would be standing, and I would split it, right? The second scenario I would practice is imagining the calf leaving, or literally the header's pulling them off, right? Like you're at a branding, so to speak. And I would approach the exact same way, but I would wait to throw until he is by me. And I'm gonna hold that rope until it makes contact, just like I would with a normal trap.
So that's if you're already in the backhand swing and he gets back.
Yes. Yeah, and you can imagine like reaching for him. Like you're trying to get out there and slip the tip in there to get him. Anybody else?
Could you explain on your backswing
Mm-hmm.
when you what's the term? Like a team rope stiff, it'll stand up.
Yes.
Kind of hold it up.
Mm-hmm.
How do you adjust your hand for that? To kind of hold up your spoke.
Okay, so with both of my trap shots, my spoke, okay, is gonna be deep in my palm, whereas my loop is gonna be in my fingertips when I'm swinging. So I simply just drop the loop and keep the spoke. And with any of these soft ropes, anybody who's got a poly, if I throw this shot and I don't split my spoke and I just let it go, very, very small chance of catching anything here. We would call that slops. And if you were to come to my house and rope with me, John, and Abby, we would make fun of you for catching slops. Like we're pretty hard on one another when it comes to picking up heel shots, right? Like the saddle blanket thing, roasted. I would get roasted for throwing that in front of you guys. They would absolutely annihilate me. But if I split it and keep it, I can hold that trap open, right? So the way that I'm gonna get that done is when I'm delivering, it's gonna be in my fingertips, right? And that spoke's already deep in my palm. And it's the same with a backhand swing. And I was explaining this in the beginner class. As I'm swinging here and as I'm coming down, the weight of my rope is naturally splitting my spoke in my loop. It's like I can feel it in my backswing dragging my fingers back, right? My hand's almost wide open. And so it's just already there. Anybody else? Sweet.